Big excitement over the launch of the iPhone 5, and our next guest said in his research note today that he expects sales of the iPhone 5 to reach 6 to 6.5 million through this weekend, and he says that's a conservative estimate. Brian White, senior analyst for Topeka Capital Markets, joins us now. With more, Brian, thanks for joining us this evening.
Yeah, good to be here.
So, Brian, what made you raise your estimates on the iPhone 5 sales?
Well, last week we had pre-orders come in at 2 million units in the first 24 hours. So you could pre-order last Friday. We were looking for 1.3 to 1.5 million. So clearly this was a blowout. Even in our wildest expectations, we didn't think 2 million in the first 24 hours.
And in your notes, you say that the challenge here will be keeping up with the demand, that there'll be not enough supply. Why are you so bullish about the iPhone 5?
Well, I think you see it here in New York. You see it around 9 countries today. Lines beyond what the eye can see. People continue to want to buy Apple products. And this iPhone 5 is a huge upgrade. It's 18% thinner, 20% lighter, and has a beautiful aluminum casing, which we didn't have on the iPhone 4S, and a bigger screen.
So you think people who just bought the iPhone 4 are ready to upgrade already?
Of course. You know, we did a survey today, and half the people that we spoke to here in New York bought the 4S last year, and they're upgrading to the iPhone 5.
All right, what's so great? I believe you have the old versus the new.
We have, we have the old iPhone here, and we have the new iPhone here. And you'll notice a much bigger screen, much thinner, 18% thinner, and you can't see it, but it's much, much lighter. So this is a much better product, and it really has a beautiful look to it, right?
Brian, we've had this conversation before. You know, I'm a BlackBerry loyalist. Most of my colleagues in the New York office are as well. What will happen, what do you foresee possibly happening to knock Apple off its perch? Just like 5 years ago, we were thinking RIM was invincible. What could possibly happen to Apple?
You know, I think the biggest challenge is just the Android ecosystem. So when you look at Apple, in mobile phones, they have 6% market share. Smartphones, 17%. When we look at the operating system, they have 17%, but Android has 68%. So when you think of Samsung, HTC, Motorola, they're all using the Android operating system. If that operating system gains so much scale and so much power and is better to use, then that's the biggest risk to the Apple story. But the iPhone 5 has been a blockbuster, and I think you're going to see it in Hong Kong over the weekend as well.
Yeah, you say it's going to be a big blowout in China, but Apple's shares of the smartphone market in China, not so good. They're behind Samsung and Lenovo and several others, according to second quarter research from IDC. So what's going to be the changing factor there? What's going to make the iPhone 5 more appealing to the Chinese consumer?
So I think when you look back, Apple fever in China began in 2010 when the iPhone 4 came out. The iPhone 4S looks so similar to the iPhone 4 that most consumers in China didn't upgrade. This has a very different look to it, the iPhone 5. It's bigger. It's thinner, it's lighter.
So it's more of a status symbol. Look at me, I've got the latest one.
Exactly.
And you can see that from far away. Now, one of the problems in mainland China is that Apple is partnered with China Unicom to offer its iPhone, but it's yet to strike a deal with China Mobile, and that's the biggest provider there. So how is that going to affect Apple's growth in China?
It's a great point. So about 70% of the subscribers Apple can't touch because they work with China Mobile. So what we think will happen is sometime in the first half of next year, they'll start working with China Mobile, and that's going to be enormous for Apple. And I think some of those share numbers will start to move higher, for sure.
Until that happens, what would you say some of the other challenges that Apple faces specifically in China?
I think in China, it's really been, they had the 4S, which wasn't a big enough upgrade. I don't think there's other challenges. There's a lot of, I'll say this, there are some lower cost handsets, 1,000 RMB, that are gaining some share. You got companies like Xiaomi, who offer a $350 handset, which are doing very well, and Samsung has done well. Obviously, companies like Huawei and ZTE also.
Now, you've been an Apple bull for a very long time. You are still sticking to your 12 months price target of $1,111 a share.
Yes.
Why? That's about $400 higher than we are right now. Why?
You know, the PE valuation is still low. The market share is still low. The innovation is very, very high in new product areas. So like I said, in mobile phones, they only have 6% market share.
And you're not concerned by economic slowdown, consumer sentiment, all of that. You're still $400 higher than the price it's at now.
Got a long ways to go.
Okay, well, there you have it. Thanks very much, Brian White, Senior Analyst for Topeka Capital Markets, with a price target for Apple for 12 months, $1,111.